Hello everyone, the savior of Kensei mains out there. I have come back from the dead to show you the light.
It's time to go to heaven, my child.
Stop it, what are you doing?
Stop it, don't
Stop it,
fight.
cut it out,
Don't
help.
stop.
This video may seem autistic, replying to a 3-month-old video, especially for no reason whatsoever. I mean, it's kind of autistic, after all I have dyslexia, so is autism really that far off the table? However, the reason why I'm making the video is because it seems that a statement I made back when Raptor X video was released, it was taken in a way I did not wish it to be perceived as. I understand it may have been seen as if I really meant what I said, however on this channel and as the general, I am very often sarcastic and make fun of other YouTubers. Recently, for example, some of these gems.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Now the joke itself is actually not really that funny, but I'll have to explain it for you. Because I'm cosplaying as the guy from the campaign as the Kensei, the father of all Kenseis, who died. That's really the joke, that, oh, it's personal because I basically have made my whole character trait as well as personality revolved around a dead Kensei from the game. I've never been known for my stand-up, so that's why my jokes aren't that great. I want to get two really important things quickly off my chest. First off, Raptor X, I was not rallying a community against you. If I need to explain why, if I did do that, it wouldn't work. And second of all, I think our communities are very much different in size comparison.
That's quite big. Impressive. Ooh, that's kind of small.
One last thing I want to talk about is that I really do appreciate you keeping your fan base from coming after me after they saw what I said and took it in the wrong direction. I'm sorry that that outcome even happened in the first place. First, let's get into some positives about Raptor X.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of your fashion show. I'm also the fashion guy. As well as the helmet stereotypes, let's not forget the interesting idea of bot tournaments. As well as, I think you're one of the only For Honor YouTubers that I know besides myself who uses cutouts of your character. Welcome to the cutout club, I guess. The last interesting point I'm going to leave on with the positive side, or at least it might be positive, you can take it whatever way you feel. Raptor X looks like Alejandro from Total Drama Island. I just came up with a new Halloween costume for you, buddy. Okay, now on to the jokes again. Nothing personal, I just thought this video would be more funny like 3 months ago, but my editor never got around to proofreading the script, which is a problem because if you remember, I'm dyslexic. Anyway, I guess the biggest question I have for Raptor X is, do you own a sweatshop in China? Because somehow you can mass produce pretty much the exact thumbnail with minimal changes.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Intel has told us there are at least 7.
Okay, I already see one. Give him. Okay.
They're the same picture.
They say you should never judge a book by its cover, but I say you should absolutely judge a YouTuber by their thumbnail design.
I hear Bangladesh is the new craze for sweatshops. Maybe more production over there, or maybe they're just really good at kidnapping kids. It shouldn't cost too much more steel. Don't worry, if you need an editor for free, basically being free labor, I could recommend or force my editor to help you. You don't have to pay him, but he may take a few years to do anything. He appreciates milk, cheese, and M&Ms. Okay, now for Raptor X's video. I don't think you were trying to make a really serious video, but it just seems as if the video could have been organized better. And the signaling out of Kensei was unfair, as I believe the problems he has are absolutely shared between many characters, and I think that Kensei is actually a lot better than those characters. The 2 points mentioned at the beginning of the video seems to be said in order to suggest that while there may be Kenseis in matchmaking, they are low level and they will drop him later. That would suggest that Kensei is a lackluster hero.
The Vanguards, because they're the free ones of course, so when someone logs in for the first time, they pick their faction, and normally they choose the corresponding Vanguard of said faction. They're all fairly new to the game, or they're all really bad, and both of these statements can really be true.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
This is why a lot of Kenseis running around matchmaking are either rep 1 or rep 30 and higher, because people put one rep into him and either go, wow, this character's not very fun, or wow, I love Kensei. Why would you use Kensei, a hero that needs to work for his punishes, when you could just play Ocelotl or VG and become For Honor's greatest player to ever grace the planet?
And that he isn't worth playing, particularly that he isn't worth playing in higher lobbies. However, regarding the points for the first point, if Vanguards are free, most new players are playing Vanguards. Then Vanguards would experience an internal tick in popularity as long as there are new players. Therefore, the initial statement of that nobody plays Kensei, which I'm not too sure that the statement was meant to be literal, but anyway, it's likely false. From what I've seen, I do believe that the game has a large player base of new people. New referring to inexperienced low-level players as well as drifters who play the game and drop it before returning later. The game is also regularly drawing in newer players. These points kind of disregard the idea that nobody plays Kensei by themselves. The second premise is more right, however. It's not that Kenseis are bad, it's more likely that I believe most players are fairly newish and mid-level at the game. If so, and I believe it so, this is why I have somewhat of a problem with the idea that nobody plays Kensei, because that the problems that keep most people away from Kensei are shared between many characters. It doesn't seem right to talk about an issue as if it is specific to one character. There are other key factors that you did not mention in your video which could actually change the opinion of that nobody plays Kensei. Many people don't want to play their highest repped characters all the time due to the fact of that they're not actually earning anything anymore with those characters, as well as matchmaking being a problem in itself. A lot of the time you will get newer players joining your high level lobbies because of their KD being really good because they're on low levels, whereas other players like myself who are in higher reps and have more experience, who have kind of mid to somewhat bad KD because we played the game a lot more, will come across these newer players. The video could more accurately be about the shared problem, as you mentioned later in your video, power creep. I believe the idea of power creep can be accurate in regards to Kensei, but since I believe this problem goes far beyond Kensei, I therefore believe that this video somewhat unfairly targets Kensei, my sweet, sweet child.
You're right. It's gonna be. Don't you talk to him. Don't even look at him!
Power creep as a concept cannot explain the complete problem, as alone it can be voided by pointing out heroes who are much newer who are still lower in the pick rate, such as Nuxia, Sohei, Pirate and Griffin. It can also be pointed out older heroes who are still holding up, like Raider, Shigoki, Black Pride and Nabushi. Therefore, I wouldn't regard the problem to accurately be discussed as power creep alone. I think somewhat more accurately, although probably still not entirely, the problem is more of a playstyle based problem. The heroes that are picked less are stuck in the old playstyle, which is less offensive and demands better reactions and predictions, and are less forgiving, which is a more skill demanding playstyle. Several new heroes or reworks have been included to significantly change the overall playstyle, by including tactics that are more aligned with the quote-unquote less skilled players, promoting a highly aggressive plays and a variety of openers with a less punishability. Whether or not the new playstyle is good isn't the real point now. The new meta heroes like Athera, Raider, Shaolin, Shinobi are just easy to play, especially in the broader range of skill levels throughout the game, which is why more people gravitate towards them. I don't know that the old heroes need to be changed or that the new meta heroes need to be nerfed. It's just that the old meta heroes seemed somewhat voluntarily handicapped. To be clear, I do believe Kensei is not picked as much as other heroes, but I just have a problem with the video claiming that nobody plays him, as if he's the only character with certain problems that are ingrained in the game among a whole class of characters. Absolutely, some of the old meta heroes are better in higher ranks, which brings me to another point in Raptor X's video. Low level ranks are mentioned, but I believe that characters become a lot more viable on the higher ranks, when players can best utilize a character's movesets and they can reactively parry, predict, and react. The gap between metas can be abridged somewhat. The end yapping part derails the point of the video. I think, as you say, Kensei can be fun in casual lobbies and you wouldn't change anything about him.
Overall, a lot of Kensei can really be fun in the casual area of the game, and there isn't much I would change to Kensei. Not every hero needs to be this monster of meta that makes them feel unbeatable in the right hands. Kensei is almost perfect in every way he plays, other than just speeding up his side-rated finishers to counter the early dodges. I don't play Kensei that much, but after this video, I definitely will be playing him way more often.
The first statement I believe to somewhat be true, as casual is somewhat of a broad term. Raptor probably means it's very casual lobbies only when you're better than everyone else there. However, Raptor's statement kind of contradicts his points, particularly the first point. If he was fun in casual lobbies, then casual players would continue playing him into higher lobbies, but I believe they actually usually drop him sooner than they realize that because he requires skill, or probably that they think he's shit. When he's not, he's just balanced. At the end of the day, I'm just a dyslexic moron who will literally defend Kensei forever, even if he is really bad. I will die on this hill.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
After your video released and you saw what I wrote and you made some points on Discord, which I think makes the idea that nobody plays Kensei worse. Now this is definitely a nitpick, but one of your points on Discord was that most games it's uncommon to see 2 Varangian guards, 2 Orochis and 2 Centurions, but you never see 2 Kenseis unless something new comes out. But in your own footage, I found multiple examples of there being 2 Kenseis in your game. Now you'll definitely say since Raptor is playing one of them, it doesn't count. But in the first section, where first complaints were made about Kensei, about the low level players playing him, not counting yourself, there were 2 Kenseis. And if we go back into the later section of the video, you were playing Tiondi fighting against a Kensei and your teammate was a Kensei. Again, kind of a nitpick. If you really wanted to hammer the point home of not seeing 2 Kenseis in a game, I think you should have done a more in-depth analysis by playing multiple games or having multiple people of different skill levels play many games and recording the characters that they see. I get this video isn't really supposed to be a serious analysis of the state of every character in the game, but one of the reasons why I'm bringing anything up besides Raptor's video being about my gorgeous and undefeated main is that I think the video could have been a bit more and it would have really helped out with the video and the topics at hand. Regarding the other thing on Discord, that the only reason I would have a problem with your video is to start beef because I don't like your content, or it's just because I play Kensei.
No. Well, yes, but that's not the point.
I wouldn't say that's true, well, except the last point. Obviously, seeing anyone go against my gorgeous and undefeated main would slight me. The reason I do have a problem with your video is because I don't agree with it. I just think the title that nobody plays Kensei is just false, and that a lot of points in your video are weak and not well structured. The last thing I'm going to be discussing is that in Raptor's video, one of the sections for the history of the character being labeled the lack of history. Something that seems to be neglected is that the idea why Kensei over the lifespan of For Honor may have not had important changes throughout most of the lifespan of For Honor. Kensei has largely been regarded with a reputation of being one of the most balanced characters in the game's roster. If the devs realize that and the entire community agrees on that their character being balanced, and that the devs themselves agree with this statement, then why would they drop everything that they need to do to change him? Personally, I don't even think that the character needs a massive change. Even now, he's still largely a decent hero, and with only a few small balances, the hero could absolutely be excellent for a large portion of the meta. To conclude, this video is not supposed to be a personal attack against Raptor X. I'm mainly talking about it because I didn't want Raptor X to believe I was targeting him or sending my fan base after him, as it may have seemed, though, judging by the Discord statements themselves. My main problems with the video was that the fact that I thought the video itself could have been better organized, especially with the structure. Certain points were made invalid at the end and at the start due to different opinions of characters being obviously good for casual play and then the character not being very good and people were dropping him. So obviously the points were made invalid, and at the end it seemed like he was a bit too confused about why he was making the video itself, at least when I looked at it.
Why would you use Kensei, a hero that needs to work for his punishes, when you could just play Ocelotl or VG and become For Honor's greatest player to ever grace the planet? Not every hero needs to be this monster of meta that makes them feel unbeatable in the right hands. Kensei is almost perfect in every way he plays, other than just speeding up his side-way finishes to counter the early dodges. I don't play Kensei that much, but after this video, I definitely will be playing him way more often.
Other points of criticism were actual evidence. There was not much actual physical evidence or really more of that suggested for me to actually agree with the video. It just seemed more like the personal opinions of someone who believed that the character wasn't played that much. The rest of the video itself, going into the lifespan of the character, was actually quite good, and I did enjoy those segments. Now this may seem as a nitpick, but I do actually think it is quite important to the video and to the criticism as a whole. Stating that you didn't actually have that much experience with the character before actually making the video, and that afterwards you will be playing the character, just tells me a lot that either the video itself was very much not understood on what its main purpose was supposed to be, or at least the points of criticism were just out of place on the video that you were wanting to make. And if you did not have the actual experience of playing the character, I would suggest reaching out to other content creators which are bigger and that you would most likely have contact with. People like Freeze or Slanderous, or even people that mainly play Kensei, would have been a great suggestion. Also, I didn't like the premise of the character being underplayed, or as the video states, nobody plays Kensei in 2024. As if he was uniquely underpowered instead of being a larger problem that For Honor has at this current time. All I know for certain after this video is that I don't think Raptor X will be accepting my friend request anytime soon. With that, I'll see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps out the channel. With that, I'll see you next time. Alrighty, goodbye.